Well, it is playing now in theaters. The Long Game is a film based on the inspirational true story set in 1955, where 5 Mexican-American caddies did the unimaginable. They created their very own golf course in the middle of a South Texas border town. Well, joining us this morning is the film director, Julio Quintana. Julio, good morning. Buenos dias. So good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a super exciting weekend for us. Yeah.
Yes, well, as you know, and when I first emailed you, Julio, I'm from Del Rio. That's my hometown, born and raised there. So everyone is so excited about this film. What first drew you to the story?
Well, I mean, for me, I'm the child of immigrants. Both of my parents are from Cuba. My wife is from Colombia, and so I immediately resonated with this story of what these young guys are going through, trying to figure out their identity as young Latinos that are born and raised in the United States. It's like they're Latino, but as far as they're concerned, they're American, and so the idea of being able to explore that kind of questions of identity things, but in a fun, inspiring way. That's just, I mean, this is your traditional underdog, overcoming all obstacles, fun sports movie. So the chance to kind of explore some of those themes, but in a fun and exciting way was I couldn't pass up on that. And the story is crazy. I mean, it's unbelievable. I hadn't been in Texas since '95, never heard of it. So.
That's right. Well, what was the process like bringing this story to life and to the big screen? Walk us through what that was like for you.
Well, it was first, my last movie was a true story called Blue Miracle, also with Dennis Quaid, and so I had a little bit of experience with that. And so they brought me this movie. They thought I'd be a good fit for it, and when they brought it to me, they had a book that was by Humberto Garcia called Mustang Miracle, and then they had a script that, and I became involved. Jay and Andes got attached to it. I pulled in Dennis, which was really easy. Dennis Quaid. We had done our last movie, and he was easy to get because he's obsessed with golf, like obsessed with golf. I can't get him on the phone today. He's watching the Masters, and so and so once we got those guys, and then we got Cheech Marin, and we got all these other great actors involved. Everybody just loved the story, it was not an easy road. Any kind of independent film's hard, and this is a story that. It was a labor of love and sweat, and we carried it up the mountain, but ultimately everybody who's been involved has just been moved by it, and we actually just screened the movie at the White House on Tuesday because everybody who sees it just feels like this is inspiring. It's an American story, and everybody wants to support it however they can.
You know, it's what's so awesome that I actually have friends, family members that went to San Felipe High School. They're Mustangs, and they're so proud of this. And congratulations with having it viewed over at the White House. Now, as a director, what message do you hope to achieve through this film?
Well, I never set out to make a movie to try to preach or teach anybody anything. I always start out with a question that I have in my mind, and then through the process of working through the movie, hopefully I come out the other side with some answers. But I think for me, I just felt like a lot of the conversations sometimes around race and America are a lot of times are very divisive, and so I thought this is what I've been really amazed by is being able to show this movie to all kinds of people, every end of the political spectrum, old, young, everybody, and people just come out laughing, crying, and everybody kind of overwhelmingly says like that's just honest. It's just a fair depiction of that amazing story. And so for me, if we can all sit together in a dark room and people of different persuasions all look at this and say like I agree with that, then maybe that's like a little tiny thing that I can add to the conversation and remind us all that maybe there are some things that we have in common again.
Yeah, and especially through the game of golf as a golfer myself. Now, I have to ask you, what is the most challenging part of directing? Challenging, and then what is the most rewarding?
Well, there's a lot of challenges. There's just like the physical challenge of just not sleeping for a couple months. That's always hard.
I'm sure.
I think, I think one of the biggest things, especially when you have such an amazing cast and talented crew like this, like the challenge is knowing what you're trying to accomplish, but then being open to all the amazing input from guys that have been doing this for 40 years sometimes, 50 years in the case of Cheech. And so just being able to be open and direct everybody in a way that, keeps us all on track, but mostly just just being able to integrate all the amazing input from all the talented people that, because I'm the head of the creative team, but I have a couple hundred people working with me to help to try to create a unified vision. So I think just openness and collaboration is sometimes challenging when you're on a really tight schedule.
And speaking of the team, you've got great actors like Dennis Quaid, Jay Hernandez. How do you know when a certain actor is right for a role?
Well, sometimes, sometimes you don't, or sometimes you think that they might be. Like I had never worked with Jay or Cheech, and you think they might be, but you don't know till you get out there. And then what's amazing to me is, once I get out there and I'm doing a scene, and maybe there's things that I had never seen Jay do, for example, or whatever. But then you get into those moments, and he's able to just turn it on a dime, and you realize, like, okay, these guys, they're professionals for a reason. Like they've been working for decades for a reason. And so a lot of it is just, I tend to cast a lot of times for sometimes just for enthusiasm. Like if I already know you're a talented actor, a lot of times I'll pick somebody who's just excited about the role, and I know that they're going to bring their A game every day. And even these older guys who've been doing this for 50 years, they still bring ideas to the table. That's how I know that they care and they're not just phoning it in, you just kind of trust the process and trust that they have a reputation for a reason.
That's right. Well, congratulations on such an incredible movie. We can't wait to see it right here in Denver. A true pleasure to talk to you this morning. Julio Quintana, everybody, film director for The Long Game. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate this. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, catch the movie on the big screen, everyone. Julio Quintana, it's The Long Game. It's playing now in theaters nationwide. You can also see more about the film on Instagram at The Long Game Movie.